I enriched my HubSpot data using Claude for free, paying nothing for enrichment tools, and how I did it is so easy that it's wild. Cool, all right, let's look at some demo data before we get into it. So this is a problem we see with a lot of portals. You've got this industry field here, I've got some companies. Now the way we like to do it, we like to add extra filters here. So my company, so X clients, existing clients, clients by this segment. So say you want to do some marketing campaigns, right? So say you want to send out different campaigns to different companies or different contacts in those companies. You need the industry data to do that. Say your team wants to do some outreach, right? They want to target construction companies or medical. Like, how many times have you had salespeople come up to you and say, give me a list of all these customers that we have, and then you have to go digging for the data. So this solves that problem, right? So we have this problem and we had like 100 or over about 100 with none, right? So let's jump over to Claude. Now, this is so easy that it's wild, right? So obviously what I've done here is I've connected HubSpot. This is very, very basic. I've connected that. And I've asked it, can you read our companies list? And it gives me some data. Yep, you have this many companies. Here's where they're sort of spread out. All right, great. So now I know it can read my companies. Next, do you have access to all the active customers companies list? Because at this point, I just want to add the industry for active companies, and I also want to add the industry for X customers as well, right? So it looks it up, and sure enough, it's figured it out, right? So it tells me, yep, we've got active customers, we've got X customers as well. Here are some examples. I looked them up, I validated, yep, it's working fine. All right, cool. So now tell me how many in these two lists, right? So if now I'm looking at current customers and X customers, how many of these don't have the industry field populated? 105. Now, for me to go through all of those, that's going to take a lot of time. So then I've asked, give me a list of all of them. So it's given me customers, right? So 33 customers. It's given me who they are. Then X customers, 71. Great, awesome. Then this is the cool part. Now I've asked to create 2 additional columns. In one column, I'd like you to research what industry you think each business is. And in the next column, based on what the selections are available in HubSpot, based on what the drop-downs are, recommend one. So I'm asking it to go out there, research, look at 100 different 100 different websites, figure out what industries they're in general, and then how can you match that to what the drop-down is. Now this does a couple of things. So for example, it gave me a bunch of SaaS companies that we've worked with, but we didn't have SaaS in the industry drop-down. So what did I do? I went and created it. But sure enough, it gives you this epic spreadsheet, and it's broken it down by customer and X customer as well. And you can see here, this is the research, the industry that is researched, and what the drop downs are. Now this was pretty accurate. So I only had to change a couple, and I said, look, yeah, this is what you had it, but this is what I want it to be. And to be honest, even the ones that it recommended weren't that bad. It's just in some cases, if I had a company that was in medical and they were a SaaS company, maybe I wanted them to be marked as a SaaS company, not medical. So some of this stuff is quite subjective. And then I just asked it to update, and sure enough, it actually updated. Now, this is a little gotcha. You have to be careful here, because I was asking it to update. I said, yep, these are 6 I want changed, now update. It actually directly updated it in HubSpot. I thought it was going to update the spreadsheet, but that's okay, but just something you need to look out for. So be very clear if you wanted to update your list, the spreadsheet, or if you wanted to update HubSpot. Then I had 24 customers left, so I just worked on the customers first. It gave me the suggested industries again, and then I asked it to update everything. And sure enough, now all of my customers are updated with the right industry. Pretty cool stuff. Now this is just scratching the surface of what you can do connecting your Claude to your HubSpot instance. It's barely scratching the surface. This doesn't even include things like adding Clay or other data enrichment tools, but it goes to show you don't have to pay for a lot of tokens or a lot of tools to do some basic enrichment, get your segmentation ready, and get your sales and marketing teams using good data.